TDS recently released PvP mode, but as a limited time testing session that only lasts for 2 weeks. PvP mode is a battle against 2 teams that consists of 1 or 2 players. Each player can send an enemy to the other side to end their opponent or greed for economy. Right now, there are no rewards for PvP cause it's testing. Compared to the last PvP public testing session, this version is a complete overhaul compared to the last. Tons of new features, like consumables, actually threatening enemies, tower bans.
Bro, I equipped Pyro, and I don't have it.
And endless waves. I think those are all of the features for now. This is a huge step for the devs to release PvP. Anyways, let's try the game mode out by bullying some randoms. In 2v2 PvP I played with my friend Adrian. I started with my loadout with Warden, Ace, Farm, and Rocketeer. Warden for Fallen counter, Ace for early game, Farm for more eco, I probably don't need it anyways, and Rocketeer for more splash. Our tower bans was Pyro and Electroshocker. I don't know why our opponent didn't ban anything, though this was the first day of PvP.
My teammate doesn't speak.
Our plan here was for me to defend first with some sense to my enemy. They lost from our simple economy send. This round, I tried to create a dummy loadout to see if my opponent would ban it, which they did. They banned the worst tower in my loadout. That was kind of funny. Anyways, my loadout is the same except I replaced my Rocketeer with Mercenary base. Since unit stacking is overpowered and it has good crowd control, I defended first in this game, while also sending to maximize my economy. Most of the time we griefed anyways. My opponents still didn't send us enemies for some reason. Oh, never mind, they're doing Fallen Hazmat Rush. This is easily defendable with Warden spam. To return the favor of trying to kill us, we decided to spam Fallens on their side. And some Necromancers. Their typical late game towers easily got overwhelmed. Next round, still using the same loadout. Same strategy, I didn't try to hide my true loadout this time. They didn't ban any of them though. Anyways, let's skip to the rush. On wave 11, we weren't really rushing, I'd say, just increasing our economy with Fallen Hazmats. They're struggling to kill them cause the Hazmats are decently spaced out. They were able to defend it with Rocketeers. In our side, our enemy was just sending Fallens. I assume this is just for economy, I think, cause they are not going anywhere. I realized that most of their towers are long range, making them extremely vulnerable against aggro modifier. They almost died when I tested them out. I'm not sure if I was thinking of forcing them to go sudden death. They tried spamming Necromancers on our sides. It didn't do a lot cause we're already stacked. With just a couple aggro fallen since the Necromancers ended their game. That took a while. Now for 1v1. Still using the same loadout. Why did he not ban my towers? He did not survive past wave 4 with Crook Boss. I don't think Crook Boss is good in this map since there's no loops. Next game, my towers finally got banned. I'm now forced to think differently. Yuppie. I'm glad he didn't ban my Warden though. That's my Fallen Rush carry. I'm gonna be using Pyromancer and Trapper as replacements. I don't know what was my idea for Trapper, but Pyromancer is definitely my early game carry. My opponent is still using Crook Boss. Oh, would you look at that. Trapper killed the Squire. That was totally my idea behind it. It's quite nice to see people send, experiencing a real PvP game for once. But my diabolical nimble Fallen Rush with a couple aggro Fallens at the back easily took the win. Consumables are insane. I guess long-range towers are finally no longer meta for once. I switched my loadout, finally. Don't worry, Warden is still there, he's my goat. My opponent banned some pretty good towers. I'm guessing this guy is gonna be a real dealer here. He banned my Mercenary base, that means no more OP stack. I switched some towers to cheese your typical Fallen Rush. This was a pretty competitive game, he was sending and so am I, so you know mid-game is gonna be serious. Since I know he will rush Fallens at me, I decided to get level 3 Wardens early and Freezers at the back so I can cheese them. I sent some Fallens to test him a bit, definitely didn't do it randomly or for the eco. He replied back by sending my aggro Fallens first, then bloated and some nimble Fallens. It was pretty tight, but I was able to defend against it. I defended all of that. The aggro did nothing cause it only aggro it on a few towers, a perk for using short range towers. Now, my turn. He overcommitted to that rush. Alright, I know that there's a sudden death mechanic in PvP where it's pretty much just endless waves. I thought of forcing players to get to that wave, which I did. My loadout is gonna be Ace Pilot, Warden, Mercenary Base, Pursuit, Ace for early game, Warden for Fallen Rush counter, Mercenary Base for stacking, and Pursuit for late game. In this game, my opponent seems to be good since he sends stuff. Better than not sending at all. Like, seriously, you have to send enemies to upgrade your passive economy to survive to late game. On mid game he didn't seem to create serious rushes, only sending a handful of Fallens. While I went overboard with Fallens for economy, I swear it's just for economy. He did survive mid game, but when late game starts, he randomly died. I only sent an aggro Fallen hero to mess around, but after he killed that he died. I wasn't even able to see it. Second game with the same idea, same strategy. I managed to get a max bottom pursuit for this game. Finally there's a use for this damn tower in my loadout. My opponent seemed to be doing fine till I messed around with him. By us sending one tanky boy. He barely died from that, would probably have survived if those crooks hadn't get taunted by the squires. This took me a while to find players who can at least knows the concept of enemy sending in PvP so they can survive the natural waves. But in this round, I finally got someone who survived past mid-game, the infamous Fallen Rush round. This time I'm using Mortar instead of Ace Pilot to make late game easier. This decision was unnecessary since there's no tanky enemy spam in late game. But anyways, I messed around with him. Did some little trolling, by sending some Fallen Shields, and Fallen Guardians. He almost died from that. Eventually, we did reach the final wave. It spawns the Fallen King and slop spam. GG. That's TDS PVP for you, more polished than ever. This was really fun and incredibly refreshing because the meta is completely different. Ahem, if the players are competent and don't complain over using core mechanics to your advantage. No longer do high-range towers remain on top. On the contrary, low-range towers are really good cause your opponent can abuse your disadvantage by using aggro. Another good thing about PvP is that the game is fairly quick, even going to sudden death waves, it only took me 20 minutes. Which is usually average for most normal TDS games outside PvP. There's still a lot of work they need to do in PvP. Like changing the early game meta a bit, where you could send some enemies that aren't spammy, but also equally threatening as spam enemies. Balance consumables in some way, like don't make it so players can infinitely stack on consumables with absolutely zero cooldown and cash scaling. 350 cash is nothing in mid-game. Imagine sending a bloated fallen shield on late game for the price of 2,650 cash. That's equivalent to sending 2 for less than 10% of the original cost. There are also some funny bugs I tried in PvP. Overall, though, this is a good step in implementing PvP in TDS. Also, I have not tried casual mode cause I didn't wanna bother with it. If you like what you see, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Or don't, that's completely fine. And thanks for watching.